When people talk about American wine, they normally refer to California and the amazing Chardonnay or Zinfandel from the Napa Valley. But I'm slightly different. I prefer to head a little further north, in fact, a lot further north, to the Columbia Valley, in fact, to sample some of that amazing Riesling. And it's coming right up. Hi guys, welcome to yet another edition of Big on Wine, the show which, as you probably know by now, brings you news, clues and reviews. In fact, it tries to keep you up to speed about just about everything that's happening in the world of wine. And my wine of the week for this week is indeed from the United States of America, and it's this one here. It goes under the name of Chateau Ste Michelle Riesling, and the vintage is 2018. And this wine comes in for a price where I am of just over €13 a bottle. Okay, now, as I said in the intro, when people think of American wine, they nearly always focus their attention on California. And of course, California is a beautiful part of the world and produces some fantastic wines. But for me, it's the Columbia Valley that really turns me on. Now, where is the Columbia Valley? Well, the Columbia Valley is actually in the state of Washington State, and that's in the far north of the west coast of the United States. In fact, it's the last state before the Canadian border. And in this area, we do have, in fact, the Columbia Valley AVA, so American Viticultural Area, most of which is in Washington State. A little bit extends into Oregon, which is the state just to the south. Okay, right, the wine in question here is produced by Chateau Ste Michelle, or Saint Michelle, as the Americans would say. It's 100% Riesling, and it has about 18 grams per litre of residual sugar. Now that puts it right on the edge of my comfort zone. The alcohol content is 12%, that's fairly standard. All right, a few words about the winery here. Now, Chateau Ste Michelle is based close to Seattle, the city of Seattle, on the west coast of the States, as many of the Columbia Valley wineries are, but the grapes are actually grown a long way away from Seattle, down southeast, about 350 kilometers southeast of Seattle, in fact. Now, this is an area which has cold winters and a very long, dry growing season. In fact, cooler and longer, of course, than California down south. And as a result, the characteristics of the wine are considerably different. All right. Now, this wine, having about 18 grams of residual sugar, is in the off-dry category, bordering on the medium sweet category. So food pairing is a little more tricky with this wine. All right, let's take a look at the wine in the glass first of all. And as we can see, this is a very, very pale straw gold in color. And there appears to be just a little touch of effervescence. There's a few bubbles at the bottom of the glass. I don't know whether there's been some secondary fermentation in the bottle, but anyway, just a few bubbles there right at the bottom of the glass. Looks very attractive though, indeed. All right, let's try it in the nose and see how we get on with this Riesling. Okay, now in the nose, now that is pleasant indeed. It has, what would I call it? Flowery, sweet. It's not sweet, but definitely flowery, pleasant, attractive. Ripe fruit, I think, would probably be the right way to describe this. What kind of fruits are they? Well, there's definitely something almost like an apricot aroma in this, but also touches of perhaps white currant in the nose as well. So very, very unusual. Ripe fruit, white currants, maybe even just a touch of honey, and maybe a little bit of apricot. maybe even a little bit of apple there as well. So very, very complex, fairly light, nicely perfumed, flowery aroma to this wine. All right, let's try it in the mouth now and see whether those aromas are carried over into flavors. Here we go. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Now in the mouth, this certainly is not a dry wine. It is off dry. Sugar content is quite discernible, but is in no way disturbing. This wine can carry the 18 grams per litre of residual sugar quite nicely because of the acid balance in the wine. There's a lively acid here, and the acid is being provided or being accompanied by nice green apple, notes, definitely that apricot, which was discernible in the nose on this wine. It's mouth-watering, lively in the mouth, the acid. There's a lovely balance between sugar and acid in this wine. In the finish, it's beginning to unfold very nicely. Long finish on the wine. Quite a warm, pleasant feeling developing, with the lemon and lime coming through now. So the citrus flavors emerging towards the end. Must have a little swig further. Tingly acid on the tongue, mouth-wateringly good, lovely. Lemon and lime in the finish, a very long and also warm finish on this wine. Very unusual indeed. All right, what are we going to be pairing this particular wine with? Now there's a question to deal with. Well, you know, I think these Rieslings from the Columbia Valley up there in the far north of America's west coast are incredibly well suited to seafood in particular. So how about some garlic shrimp and some of this Chateau Ste Michelle? Garlic shrimp, Chinese food, Thai food. I don't think the food should be too strong, so easy on the chili, but certainly it should have flavor. Sweet and sour pork, for example, I think would go down well. And then one more thing which occurs to me here. How about a nice German bratwurst and a glass of this wine? German sausages, even accompanied with a little sauerkraut. That would be an excellent pairing with this wine. What an unusual and nicely balanced wine that is. Okay. Let's bring you the heads up on this one. This is an off-dry Riesling from America's renowned Columbia Valley, southeast of Seattle, coming in where I am for a very decent price, just over €13 a bottle. Bags of citrus in the finish, nice green apple notes as well. A winner with Oriental cuisine. 4 stars out of 5. Okay guys, many thanks for tuning in and checking out this week's video, and of course the little intro to an interesting wine from the far north of America's west coast, Chateau Ste Michelle Riesling, vintage 2018 from the Columbia Valley. Lovely stuff, very different to what I'm accustomed to indeed. Okay, if you've enjoyed what you've seen and heard, then please do feel free to give us a big thumbs up. Yep, give us a like, drop a comment down below, share the video around, follow me on my other social media platforms. And hey, if you haven't done so already, please do consider subscribing. How do you do that? Well, try hitting that big red button which will appear as if by magic just above my right shoulder there. And while you're about it, why not ring the bell? Yep, down there, ring the bell, and you'll be informed as soon as every new video is uploaded. And naturally, I'll be back again next week with another great wine of the week for you. But until we meet again, this is Tony Melville signing off and saying, hey, take care out there. Be good to each other. Enjoy your wines. And cheers.